Hi everyone, it's Miss Danielle and I am so excited to be here to bring you another chapter from the Jesus Storybook Bible today. So if you'll remember, in Monday's video we talked about Jesus teaching the people how to pray. And Jesus taught the people that you don't need to be the smartest or have the most words to say to get God to notice you when you pray. Instead, you just need to bring your heart to God, because God can hear even the quietest whisper in our hearts. And that is such good news for us. And then I told you we were going to look at a different story today, and it's called The Singer. And it's about someone or something who sings. Now, do any of you guys like to sing? I know I like to sing. One of my favorite things to do when I'm in the house is to turn on my stereo and to turn on the music super loud and to sing while I'm cleaning or while I'm making dinner, or to turn up my radio in the car and sing while I'm driving. I love to sing. So today we're going to be talking about a very special song, and we're going to be talking about things that sing that we don't normally think about singing. And Jesus is going to talk about this when he's giving a very important message to the people, and this is called the Sermon on the Mount. And so Jesus is preaching a long sermon to the people while they're gathered together on a hillside. So Jesus is teaching them about all kinds of different things. And we're going to see that today in our chapter. So let's get started. The Singer. Wherever Jesus went, lots of people went too. They loved being near him. Old people, young people, all kinds of people came to see Jesus. Sick people, well people, happy people, sad people, and worried people. Lots of them. Worrying about lots of things. What if we don't have enough food? Or clothes? Or suppose we run out of money? What if there isn't enough and everything goes wrong and we won't be all right? What then? When Jesus saw all the people, his heart was filled with love for them. They were like a little flock of sheep that didn't have a shepherd to take care of them. So Jesus sat them all down, and he talked to them. The people sat quietly on the grassy mountainside and listened. From where they sat, they could see the blue lake glittering below them and little fishing boats coming in from a night's catch. The spring air was fresh and clear. See those birds over there? Jesus said. Everyone looked. Little sparrows were pecking at seeds along the stony path. Where do they get their food? Perhaps they have pantries all stocked up? Cabinets full of food? Everyone laughed. Who's ever seen a bird with a bag of groceries? No, Jesus said. They don't need to worry about that, because God knows what they need, and he feeds them. And what about these wildflowers? Everyone looked. All around them, flowers were growing. Daisies, pure white lilies. Where do they get their lovely clothes? Do they make them? Or do they go to work every day so that they can buy them? Do they have a closet full of clothes? Everyone laughed again. Who's ever seen a flower putting on a dress? No, Jesus said. They don't need to worry about that, because God clothes them in royal robes of splendor. Not even a king is that well dressed. They had never met a king, but as they gazed out over the lake, glittering and sparkling below them, the hillsides dressed in reds, purples, and golds, they felt a great burden lift from their hearts. They could not imagine anything more beautiful. Little flock, Jesus said, you are more important than the birds, more important than flowers. The birds and the flowers don't sit and worry about things, and God doesn't want his children to worry either. God loves to look after the birds and the flowers, and he loves to look after you too. Jesus knew that God would always love and watch over the world he had made, everything in it, birds, flowers, trees, animals, everything, and most of all, his children. Even though people had forgotten, the birds and the flowers hadn't. They still knew their song. It was the song all of God's creation had sung to him from the very beginning. It was the song people's hearts were made to sing. God made us. He loved us. He loves us. He is very pleased with us. It's why Jesus had come into the world, to sing to them that wonderful song, to sing it not only with his voice, but with his whole life, so that God's children would remember it and join in and sing it too. Wow, that's a great lesson today. So in this chapter, Jesus is telling the people not to worry. And I know what you're thinking. We kind of started off and you're like, Miss Danielle, we're talking about singing a song and nobody was singing a song at the beginning. I know, but we have to get there first. So Jesus is telling the people not to worry. Have you ever been worried about something? Yeah, I think we all have. I've worried about things before. And sometimes we worry about big things and sometimes we worry about little things. But Jesus tells us here, he says, you don't have to worry, he said, because God knows you and God loves you and he's going to take care of you. Now that doesn't always mean things are going to work out the way we want them to, but it doesn't mean God stops loving us. It means that God knows what worries us and God says, I will take care of you. He promises us that. And so what's good news is at the end of the chapter, when Jesus has said, the birds don't worry, the flowers don't worry. And in fact, the birds and the flowers are singing a song they've been singing since the beginning of the world when everything was created. They're singing a song to God because God made them and he loves them and he takes care of them. And so it talks to us in our chapter that that's why Jesus came. Jesus came to remind the people of that song that God loves us. He takes care of us. And it's not necessarily a song that we sing with our voices. We do sometimes, like when we worship together on Sunday mornings or when we listen to those songs about Jesus in the car and we sing them out really loud. Those times too, but it's a song we sing with our whole life. It's our whole attitude, the way we live. And we live in such a way that says we know that God is taking care of us and that he loves us very much. And that is such a good, sweet song to sing. So that's it for today's chapter on the singer. Next time we come together, we will be looking at the next chapter. It's called The Captain of the Storm. So we're going to be going out to sea next time. And I am so excited to look at that with you. So I hope to see you again soon for our next video. In the meantime, be kind. Show the love of Jesus to your family, to your friends, to whoever you meet. I love you very much, and I miss you terribly. And I cannot wait to see you again soon. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Bye.